Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be creating a simple AI agent that can reason and act. It doesn't just produce text like a typical language model, it actually chooses between 3 different tools to respond intelligently. So what is an AI agent? It's not a new kind of model, it's more of a system built around a model. So you take a large language model, something like GPT-5, you give it access to some tools, things like a calculator, a weather API, or even a database, and then you let it decide when and how to use them to answer questions. The model reasons about what it needs, calls your code, and then uses those results in combination with its standard text generation to form its final answer. So in this video, we'll be building a simple AI agent, one that knows how to use a calculator for math, fetch weather data, and tell a random programming joke. This is pretty simple, it's just a few dozen lines of code, but you'll be able to see the full reasoning loop in action. We'll be using Next.js for the app and API routes, the official OpenAI SDK for tool calling, and Tailwind for a quick UI. I'll provide a starter repo so that we don't have to spend too much time on UI boilerplate code. By the end, you'll understand exactly how the agent loop works from the model's first message to tool calls to the final combined answer. Let's jump in. Okay, so before we start, here's what you'll need. NodeJS installed on your system. I recommend version 18 or higher. You'll need an OpenAI API key. You can grab one from platform.openai.com, and you'll need to clone the starter repo for this project. I'll link all 3 down below in the description. Okay, so this is our starter repo, and it comes with a basic styled UI, as well as some empty API routes where we'll begin to write our agent logic. Okay, let's go ahead and clone the repo. And I'll go ahead and open that up in Visual Code. Open my Visual Code terminal, and let's go ahead and cd into the agent starter directory. Okay, quick check to make sure Node is installed. There we go, that looks good. Now let's go ahead and install the dependencies. So shortcut is npm I. Okay, and once those dependencies are installed, let's go ahead and quickly run the application just to do a sanity check, make sure the UI is showing. So I'll do npm run dev. Then we should be able to open that up on localhost 3000. There we go. So at this point, you should see a basic UI with an input to input your question and the ask button, which is going to trigger the AI agent. Okay, so back over in Visual Code, let's go ahead and stop the server. And what we're going to want to do is create a new .env file. Now this can either be .env or .env.local. And let's go ahead and copy the OpenAI key into .env and go ahead and paste your OpenAI API key from your OpenAI dashboard right in here, and go ahead and save that. Okay, so we're in the agent starter folder, and the agent complete folder just represents the completed application with all the code in place. So if you didn't want to follow along during this tutorial and code, you could just dive straight into agent complete and see the working application. But in starter, we're going to be actually building everything out. And so one thing to note, under the source folder, there is a snippets.md. Okay, so some of the more boilerplate kind of code we're going to copy and paste in from here, and then some of the code that we want to dive into a little bit deeper, we're going to just code live in the tutorial. So that being said, let's go ahead and go into source app page.tsx. Okay, so this is our main front end file. And you can see this is where a lot of the UI is coming from, including the input and the primary button. So what we want to do here is complete our ask agent function, which will essentially hook up the front end to the back end so that our app can actually talk to our API. So this is one of the more sort of boilerplatey kind of code snippets. So let's go into snippets and scroll down to the bottom. This is going to be around line 123. And let's go ahead and copy and paste this whole ask agent block right here. You can copy the comments as well if you want. Let's go back to page, and we're just going to replace this little ask agent stub here. So go ahead and let's save that. So the ask agent function is essentially a post request to our Next.js route /API/agent, which is where our AI agent code is going to live. So right now it's just set up to return a hard-coded string. So let's go ahead and run the application again and just make sure that we see that. And once that loads up, we can go back to our application. Server is still starting up. All right, so to test that out, let's just say hi. And there, that's our placeholder string agent not implemented yet. Okay, so that's all we have to do for the front end. Our front end is done. Now let's go ahead and build out the back end. So an AI agent is basically a model with a list of tools that it's allowed to use, plus some sort of reasoning logic loop. So let's go ahead and define our first tool. We're going to go ahead and open up tools.js, and that's under source app API. And what you can see, we have just a variable called tools here, which is an empty array. We're going to go ahead and define our first tool right in this array. So again, this is something that we can go ahead and copy over from snippets, and then we'll sort of take a look at it in more detail. So the very top, scroll to the very top, and you'll see a calculator tool. So calculator is going to be our first tool. Let's go ahead and copy this entire JSON block here, back into tools, and copy it inside that array. Okay, go ahead and save that. Now this isn't the actual function or tool implementation. It's more like a schema or a definition. And this is what the model is going to see. So it knows what arguments that can be passed to the calculator tool. So again, our model will basically have access to this tools list of schemas and basically know that the calculator tool exists, and it will be able to call it with the help of our run tool function down below whenever it encounters any sort of math problem. So next up, let's go ahead, go back over to snippets, and let's find our calculator implementation. And that's going to be right below the calculator tool schema. So let's go ahead and copy this entire block starting on line 21. Let's go back to tools and let's paste that right underneath the run tool signature there. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's build our actual AI agent and reasoning loop. So I'm going to go ahead and open up route.ts. Okay, and you'll see some commented out code here. That's where we'll begin. So I'm going to go right underneath this code here. And so the first thing we want to do is sort of a regular vanilla API call to OpenAI chat completions, only we're going to also send in a list of the available tools. So I'm going to start by creating a variable called first, because this will represent only the first response, but not the final response after the tool calls. Okay, so this is going to be an await, because it's an async call. And let's see, we'll say client. That's our OpenAI SDK client. Dot chat.completions dot create. Okay, now inside here we'll send in an object. And first we'll define our model. And for this one, I'm just going to say GPT 4.1. 4.1. Next property is going to be messages. And this will take our standard message array with one object right now, and that'll be role, user, and then content, which will represent the actual content that we passed in through the UI. So the user-generated question, which we'll call query right here. Let's add a comma. And then finally, we're going to add in our tools. That's going to be the list of tools imported from our tools file that we were just working on a minute ago. Okay, now we're going to extract the message from the response here. So I'll create a new variable. I'll call it MSG for message. And then we'll say first dot choices, and we can just take the first element in that array since we've only asked for one response message. And this is part of the standard OpenAI API. What is that not like here? Comma expected. Oh, somehow I'm missing my, oops, my end parentheses got pushed down a little bit too far. So there we go. That looks good. Okay, so that's our first initial call to OpenAI. And basically, this message is going to contain some information with regards to whether or not ChatGPT wants to make any tool calls. Let's go ahead and save that. So the next part of our reasoning loop is going to inspect this message variable, see if there are any tool calls that need to be made, and then iterate over that list of tools, and then invoke the run tool function that we saw in tools.ts to make those tool calls. And then it's going to use a promise all to basically package all of the results into a results variable. So this part's sort of a lot of boilerplate code, so we can head over to snippets and let's go ahead and copy paste this part in. So let's find it. This is going to be down on line 90. So let's go ahead and copy this whole part, starting with 2, if ChatGPT decides to call a tool. Let's copy and paste that back right underneath our new message variable. Okay. Not sure why my auto formatting isn't working all of a sudden, but yeah, so again, it's looking at message. If tool calls has any length, and this is the list of tools, then it's going to go ahead and map over those, call each tool, and collect the results in this results variable. So after that process completes, we're going to make another chat completions call similar to the first one, only we're going to pass in the tool call results as another message. So let's head back over to snippets, and we're just going to scroll a little bit further down, and let's go ahead and copy part 3 here on line 100 all the way down to the and including the next response. If no tools needed, yeah, let's grab that part as well. Oops. All right, so let's head back over to route. And let's copy that right before, or sorry, right after part 2. Okay, and so as I mentioned before, this looks a lot very close to the first step where we just made a OpenAI chat completions call. But this time, the idea is to send in all the messages so far in the conversation up to this point. So we have our first message still here, user content. We have the answer to that, which was our message variable. And then we're also including the results of all the tool calls. Now, ChatGPT is going to take all of those messages and use them to formulate a final response. And that's going to be the answer right here. Okay, so at this point, we should have a functioning agent with one tool, the calculator tool. So let's go ahead and test it out. But I want to add one more thing before we do that. So let's go back to snippets, and there is a line which will log which tool ChatGPT decided to use. That's going to be right on line 88. So let's copy that. That way we can sort of prove that the tool was actually called to formulate the answer and not just the default text generation. So I'm going to put that right underneath message here. Go ahead and save that. Okay, now if your app's still running, then yep, we shouldn't need to restart the server. So let's go back to the UI. And let's go ahead and ask a math question. I'm going to go ahead and open up the dev tools right here so we can, actually that logging is going to be server side, so that's going to be in Visual Code. Okay, so let's say what is 25 times 17? Let's try that. All right, and we have an answer, 425. Now let's go back to Visual Code. All right, and here's our tool calls. So that's from our logging statement above, and we can see that, in fact, the calculator tool was called. Okay, so far so good. Now let's go ahead and add a couple of new tools to the mix. And to do that, all we really need to do is add our new tool definitions and implementation. So this is sort of rinse and repeat and no new coding other than that. So let's head on back over to snippets and scroll to the very top. And if we go under the calculator implementation around line 33, and we've got a weather tool definition. Then we've got a joke tool definition underneath that. So let's go ahead and copy both of those. So from line 33 around to 61. So we're going to go back into our tools file. And let's go right after our calculator function. Add a comma and go ahead and copy paste. I don't know why my formatter is not working all of a sudden. And make sure you add a comma between the weather tool and the joke tool as well. Save that. Let's go back to snippets. And now let's grab our function implementation. Right, so let's grab those two. Let's go back to tools. And these are going to go in our run tool. So we can just make some space right after our calculator implementation and paste those in. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay, and if your server's still running, let's head on over to the UI. If not, just type in npm run dev. Okay, I'm going to refresh the page here. Oh, so our weather, in a real production application, you'd probably have some sort of weather API. Those are easy enough to find and use. But right now we just have a hard-coded weather forecast. And you can see that right back in tools. It's going to be rainy and temperature 15 Celsius. But at least that makes it easy to prove that the tool is being called. So let's go over and just say, what is the weather in Seattle? So that might be realistic in that case. Go ahead and ask. And there we go. We get our answer. Today in Seattle, the weather is rainy with a temperature of around 15, etc. So you can see it used a combination of the data retrieved from the tools as well as its regular text generation. Okay. Now let's ask another question. Tell me a programming joke. There are 10 types of people in the world, those who understand binary and those who don't. Very, very dad level, but it's good. It's good. Let's see if it can give us another one. I would tell you a UDP joke, but you might not get it. Okay, I actually don't get that. What is UDP? Should probably know that, but why do programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs. All right, too funny. Okay, cool. So we've got our 3 tools, and if we head back over to Visual Code, we should be able to see what tools were called when. So we see some logging here. Calculator tool, calculator, get weather tool, tell joke tool, tell joke tool. So our agent is successfully calling our tools, then using that data, combining it with its regular text generation to give us some nice answers. So that's your first AI agent, a system that doesn't just generate text, but actually calls your code, is able to call various APIs and get real results with real data. So the takeaway here is, the power of AI agents to combine text generation with real world data, calling APIs and any kind of code. So you can really see that the possibilities here are really vast. So if this helped you to understand how AI agents really work, don't be afraid to hit like and subscribe. That'll do it for this video. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.